We often picture the history of life as a cosmic lottery. The assumption is that if you give nature enough billions of years, random mutations will eventually stumble into every possible biological shape. Deep in the rainforest, you can find a biological anomaly that challenges that idea. There are completely distinct species of butterflies and moths flying around wearing the exact same vibrant wing patterns. These striking colors serve a very specific, practical purpose. They signal to predators that the insect is highly toxic, creating a shared, universal warning sign across the jungle. But if evolution relies purely on unguided chance, we have to explain why entirely unrelated insects landed on the exact same biological design. The evolutionary distance between these identical-looking species is vast. They haven't shared a branch on the evolutionary tree in over 120 million years. To put that in perspective, the last time these insects shared a common ancestor, massive, ancient reptiles were still walking the Earth. Imagine two separate branches of life rolling a trillion-sided genetic die over millions of generations. The mathematical probability of them independently rolling the exact same sequence to create identical outcomes is vanishingly small. When the odds against a random coincidence become this astronomical, it suggests a more structured mechanism is driving the phenomenon. A recent study led by Yassine Ben-Shahida and a team of geneticists looked directly into the DNA of these butterflies to solve the mystery. This comparison of distant evolutionary trees reveals the true mechanism. Both species reused the exact same ancient genes, optics and ivory. Evolution didn't build a new system from scratch. Instead, it flipped existing regulatory switches along the DNA, activating the color changes. Biologists refer to this specific phenomenon as convergent evolution. This instance highlights how life can rely on a conserved genetic toolkit that has existed for millions of years, rather than stumbling into entirely new mutations each time. For decades, it was assumed there were countless genetic pathways an organism could take to achieve a survival trait like wing color. What researchers found instead is the principle of genetic constraint. Evolution is restricted by its history, meaning it doesn't explore every theoretical biological possibility. Nature follows a predictable script. When faced with a survival challenge, it frequently defaults to the most efficient, pre-existing machinery available. This adds a layer of predictability to the evolutionary process, showing a system bound by recurring, observable rules. Science gives us an explanation for the mechanics behind this. We can map exactly how mutation, natural selection, and genetic regulation do the physical work. But mapping the mechanics doesn't answer why life possesses such an elegant, reusable, and structured system in the first place. Some see this repeating order as an inevitable consequence of physics. Others look at the same data and see evidence of meaning woven into reality. The presence of these recurring rules forces us to ask whether the universe is intentional rather than accidental. In the Islamic philosophical perspective, the natural world is not viewed as a sequence of blind accidents. It is seen as a canvas filled with intentional signs. There is a deep historical tradition of inviting humanity to reflect upon the balance, harmony, and structural precision of the universe. The goal isn't to force biology to prove faith. Rather, for many believers, discovering this kind of deep biological order resonates with the concept of divine wisdom. Whether viewed as an evolutionary constraint or as a sign of design, one thing is clear: the universe operates on profound order. And the more we study nature, the more mysterious